The YouTube channel for tips, previews and reviews. Welcome along to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. And before we get into our weekend preview, I want to say a massive thank you for all the support we've had around our Chester preview. You guys have gone absolutely nuts over that, over 3,000 views. Plenty of winning selections. We're filming this on Friday morning, so we're still waiting for our Friday selections to run. But big thank you as always. And if you haven't watched us before, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Jack, the first few days of Chester have been fantastic. I think the two horses that might be worth discussing are the two on the first day in the Cheshire Oaks in Save the Last Dance. Then we also had a rest win, one of the Derby trials there. What do we make of those two? Because Save the Last Dance, she looks an absolute rocket.
Yeah, she was very impressive. I mean, I would say with the ground as it was and kind of what she was up against, I would kind of question the form a little bit at the moment. I'd definitely be opposing her in the Oaks, that's for sure. Look, she may be very impressive, but I think she's probably quite a short price already. But no, the rest was also did it in good fashion. But as I say, the testing conditions around Chester, I think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Save Last Dance got the highest time form rating for a Cheshire Oaks winner in a century, I think, in 117. And it was interesting to hear that the Cornwall team saying she could be better on quicker ground, which could be quite exciting. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what she can do. But she's 13-8 currently for the Oaks at Epsom, which is quite short, but she could just be the standout in that field. But we're going to get into a few more Oaks and Derby trials today. We've got Lingfield, where their card's been switched to the all-weather for their Oaks and Derby trial. We've got the Victoria Cup. We're going to be looking at the big handicap this week from Ascot. And then we're going to be heading out to France on Sunday for the Poulain and the Pouliche, the French 2,000 and 1,000 guineas. Let's kick off then with Lingfield, and we'll start off with the Oaks trial there. This is over 1 mile and 4 furlongs. It was originally meant to be run over 1 mile and 3 furlongs on the turf, but this has now been extended, now being on the all-weather. It comes at 3 o'clock, and the prices we've currently got are Be Happy at 7-2, Sea of Roses 5-1, Bright Diamond is 8-1, External Hope also 8-1, 14-1 about Inner Space, 14-1 about Sunset Point, 20-1 and bigger. The rest of them in here, Jack. What do we make of this one? It looks like a much more open sort of trial than the trials we've had at Chester this week.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one, isn't it? Looking through the card, I know you're a big fan of Sea of Roses, so I'll let you talk mostly about her. But look, Be Happy in Sea of Roses, 1.5 miles at Lingfield on the all-weather is a lot different to 1 mile and a quarter on soft ground. At St. Cloud, where they were second and third respectively last time out. So I think they've both got a little bit to prove. Bright Diamond, I've never really seen her as someone who's going to stay 1.5 miles. So it's interesting that they're stepping her up in trip as well. I'll probably take a chance on Inner Space at 14-1 actually. It's a bit of an interesting selection because she was really disappointing in the Nell Gwyn when finishing 13th or 15th, but she was drawn on the completely wrong side, like Coppice was, who was of course gone and won next time out. But look, she's the only thing that worries me is I know she's Dam's, of course, journey, all of her best forms over 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles. I think the step up to 1.5 miles should suit. Looked like the dip didn't really suit as well at Newmarket. I think stepping up in trip will definitely suit. I think she's going to be a little bit keen, though. That's the only thing. She got a little bit excited early doors in the race. Over 7 furlongs, so I think this step up to 1.5 miles will suit. Maybe in time, maybe not exactly here, but I think at 14-1 she could be worth a shot. The step up and trip will suit, and I think there's question marks about those at the top of the market.
Okay, yeah, one at a bigger price, and it could be worth taking a chance on one at a bigger price. Now this card's been switched to the all-weather. I mean, Jack and I were talking off air, but a lot of the question marks around plenty of these horses is going to be the all-weather with regards to not necessarily their full form in general. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Sea of Rose. I think 5-1 is actually a really big price if you can get hold of that, because this horse was second in that pre-Penelope at St. Cloud, and that was behind a horse called Ponce de Jour, who is currently the favourite for the Prix d'Anne. She's very smart, let me tell you that. And I thought Sea of Roses stayed on really well, but we've got to go back to her 2-year-old form, which is absolutely exceptional. We go back to Doncaster on her final start of last season, and she ended up beating a horse called Infinite Cosmos, who has since come out and won in really impressive style and has since been slashed for the Oaks into around sort of 6-7-1 for that. And before that, ran at Foss last, finishing second behind Arrest, who we saw winning in good style this week at Chester. So the form really does add up. I know Oisin Murphy was quite complimentary at the start of the season with regards to Sea of Roses. I've got a feeling that the only worry, like I say, is going to be the all-weather. It could become a bit of carnage on the bend. I think she's going to finish mightily close in this field. So yeah, I'm going to be with Sea of Roses, and Jack's going to be with Inner Space at 14-1 for the Gosden team. Let's move on to the 3:35 then, which is the Lingfield Derby Trial Stakes over 1.5 miles. I currently don't have prices here. Jack might, but the likes of Burton Alley, Circle of Fire, Inquiring Minds is in here, who was a Very impressive winner last time out. Military Order, who Charlie Appy was very complimentary with regards to the Derby, and Waipiro, who was a good winner at Newmarket during the Craven meeting. Jack, I don't know whether you have prices there, but who do you like in this field?
No, I don't have prices, but hey, the full brother a day I was running, and you're going to be brave to take on Military Order, aren't you? I know Inquiring Minds was very impressive last time out. The one thing that I was a little bit iffy about was, of course, a day I actually got beaten as a favourite at Lingfield in the Derby trial. But thankfully, of course, it's been moved to the all-weather, so I don't think it should be too much of an issue whatsoever. Of course, it's over 1.5 miles instead of a shorter trip as it usually would be. But no, Military Order would be the one for me. We don't have any prices at the moment. Of course, Waipiro was ridiculously impressive at Newmarket from absolutely nowhere for Ed Walker. Showed a very, very impressive turn of foot. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But hopefully Military Order will go close, but I can't imagine he's going to be a big price.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's going to be shorter than evens, you'd imagine, Jack. But yeah, Military Order is going to take all the beating in here. It's not a race that I really want to take a horse on. We don't take horses on for the sake of it. It's probably not going to be a selection considering the price that it probably end up going off. But I think he could be very classy, and I think you could see his price shortened for the Derby very quickly. So you might be better off if you really fancy him to win on Saturday to take the price for the Derby. I don't know what he is currently, but that might be the way that you end up playing things. Let's move over to Ascot then for the big handicap. This is where you're definitely going to get a decent price. It's the 7 furlong Victoria Cup, a Class 2 handicap, and Barada is the 7-1 favourite. Totally Charming 8-1. Fresh is 17-2. Kingdom Come 9-1. 10-1 about last year's winner Vafortino. 14-1 about Biggles, Perotto, Rainbow Fire and Rebel Territory, and 16-1 and bigger. The rest in here, Jack, there are so many horses in here who have course and distance form, so many 7 furlong specialists. This is just a right old minefield, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I've actually got 2 for it, but I am going to give a big shout to a third, and I'll start with that one because I actually think Darkness could go quite well here in the Victoria Cup, and I know you're going to be so surprised with this.
Oh my God.
I just feel like 7 furlongs on soft ground is actually going to suit him.
I don't know what to say, Jack. I really don't. I mean, I have been watching some of the Racing Post shows, obviously working there, but the fact that Robbie Wilders has also put this horse up at 40-1 as well and said he's got a major chance. I'm like, when do I give up with this horse? But I'm going to be there at Ascot on Saturday. This is the first time I'll see Darkness in the flesh, and this could be the last time that I end up backing him. At 40-1, I'm going to have a few quid each way just because of my Cliff Horse fan. If he was like a 6-1 shot, look, I'm not going to be backing him again. But 40-1, Jack, in all fairness, he is a massive price. Andrea Azzini is probably not a bad jockey to have on board.
No, 100%, yeah, but I actually think he could go relatively close at 40-1, to be fair. But no, the first selection will be Safe Voyage, who's 18-1, finished 4th in the Balmoral last year, and I think he probably should have actually won it. And he's just been sliding down the handicap. He's now £3 lower than he was 4th in the Balmoral. He may actually need a mile, but look, he's 10 years old now. He's getting on a bit, but I still think he's got a lot of form. He was third at a lot of ability. Sorry, he was third at first just a week ago off this mark of 97. I think 7 furlongs on soft ground's not going to be a problem whatsoever. He's quite an inconsistent sort these days, but I think at 18-1 he could go close.
Okay, there we go. I've actually got one at a big price as well. I am only backing Darkness, but I'm not going to be giving a major case for this horse. But another horse at 33-1, who is the old boy in the field, but it's Sir Dance-A-Lot in here, who, look, this horse was definitely a 7 furlong specialist, even in group company years ago, a couple of years back, obviously finishing, I think, 5th in a Lennox Stakes behind Space Blues. But this is the first time, this is what I find interesting, the first time that Gerard Mosse has ridden this horse since the transfer of stable from David Ellsworth to John Butler. So he's coming over to ride this horse. We haven't seen him ride this horse for about 2-3 years now. And it's interesting that they've got this jockey over to ride him because he did get along very well with this horse. And this horse has been slowly dropping down the weights, now down to a mark of 98. Yes, his age is probably your big put-off there, a 9-year-old winning a Victoria Cup, but you just never know. I mean, he's drawn right in the middle, so I'd imagine, look, he could pick where he wants to go, Mosse, depending on what happens during the race. But 33-1, I think, is a far too big a price. I find it absolutely fascinating that John Butler's probably gone, do you know what, let's see what happens when we put Mosse back on this. So interesting that Gerard Mosse's taken the ride there. But one at the shorter price would be 9-1 back Kingdom Come. I think he could be very, very smart. I mean, since the start of the year, this horse has been unbeaten, but running on the all-weather at Kempton consistently, but gone from a mark of 80 up to 102, but is a 4-year-old. I don't think they've quite hit the ceiling with Kingdom Come. I'd imagine during the start of the year, this has just been the plan, is to get this horse ready for the Victoria Cup. Kieran Schumacher takes the ride. Fantastic jockey, but I think 9-1 may not be the worst price in the world. So yeah, I'm going to be with Sir Dancelot and Kingdom Come with a small each way bet on Darkness. And Jack, you're going to be with?
My other selection, so I'm going to be Safe Voyage is one of my selections. The other one is also going to be Kingdom Come. I completely agree there. I think the ground could be somewhat of a question mark, but of course that form at Kempton last time out was boosted no ends when Rainbow Fire, who was second that day, went and won next time out in a very competitive handicap at Haydock. I think that was it's a rock solid piece of form, as you say. I don't think a mark of 102 is anywhere near his ceiling, and he's a 4-year-old progressing. I think the ground's a little bit of a question mark, but you're getting nearly double figure price about Kingdom Come. So I have Kingdom Come as well as you, and also Safe Voyage.
Yeah, no, they're fair selections there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kingdom Come end up to be maybe a Group 3, Group 2 performer in time. I really wouldn't. Let's head over to France then for Sunday's racing, shall we? And we'll kick things off with the 250 there at Longchamp. It's the 1 mile Pour d'Essai de Poulain. This is known as the French 2,000 guineas. An American Flag is the 2-1 favourite. Isaac Shelby 3-1. Paddington 13-2. Hans Anderson 10-1. Valimi is 12-1. Cairo 12-1. 16-1 and bigger. About the rest of the field. I mean, American Flag, Jack, has looked absolutely exceptional. I actually think this horse could be even better over a trip, but has shown the highest quality of form. I know we've got horses in who have been consistent. We've obviously got the winner of the race at Newbury in Isaac Shelby, who won the Greenham Stakes in good style. Obviously, we didn't see Chaldean, the 2,000 guineas, actually go and run in that properly, but ended up running up alongside Isaac Shelby in that race. But it's clearly the best of the British, potentially, with regards to this race. Aidan O'Brien has a few in here. I can't really see past American Flag, Jack.
Yeah, he's been so impressive, hasn't he? He travels. He has a lovely turn of foot. He has a beautiful stride. I mean, Crystal Sumion on board probably didn't believe his luck last time out when he got the better of, was it Kennelly on his penultimate start, and then of course bolted up getting the better of Rajapur as well, who was back in third, who I thought is a decent horse himself. But I can't let Valimi go on back to 12-1. I really cannot let Valimi go unbacked. Beat American Flag on debut. Of course, you can take that with a pinch of salt because American Flag's probably the better of the two. Was then second on seasonal reappearance. You can completely put a line through that, I think. Clearly just needs to get wound up. Then completely to reverse the form with halfway line, getting the better of him at Longchamp over a mile. But he's got a really, I love the way he sticks his neck out of the line. I know he was only a length and a half ahead of halfway line. I don't think that by any means flatters his superiority over those rivals. They finished up very bunched, but I think a length and a half, he could have won it by 3-4 if he wants to. And I can't believe he's 12-1, Sam. And for me, Valimi, I'm going to take him maybe without American Flag, but definitely each way as well.
I genuinely think you've got that spot on. I mean, I think American Flag's going to be very tough to beat. It's going to be very interesting, actually, because obviously with the Aga Khan silks, Christoph Simeon's probably end up riding Valimi, but when he got off American Flag, he was so excited about this horse, and he might actually have to end up riding Valimi in this race. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like you say, I mean, could have needed the run on the first start of the season, finished second behind halfway line, but completely reversed the form and did it in good style by winning by 1.5 lengths the next time out over the course and distance, which is definitely key. The ground's going to be probably soft, heavy, around that kind of ground that you're going to get at Longchamp on Sunday. Going to suit this horse down. So, I think American Flag is certainly the one to beat, don't get me wrong, but if you want to take a horse at an each way price, I would not be putting you off Valimi. I think 12-1 is far too big. I expected him to be maybe sort of 6-1, because I think he's got some incredible form. So, yeah, Valimi for myself and Jack each way, but we both agree American Flag could be fairly tough to beat in the French 2,000 guineas. Let's go over to the French 1,000 guineas, the Poule d'Essai de Pouliche, over a mile as well. And the betting currently looks like this. Blue Rose Sen is 4-5, Never Ending Story 9-2, Lindy 10-1, Kalina 12-1, Saturn is 14-1, 16-1 and bigger. About the rest of them, I suppose I should start here, Jack, with my beloved Blue Rose Sen for the Christopher Head Yard. Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of this stable, and they had a fantastic winner last week, earlier in the week, with Big Rock. If you didn't catch that, then it was absolutely exceptional. I think he could be a very, very talented horse, even considering him as a potential archetype Christopher Head after speaking to him. So do look out for Big Rock. But Blue Rose Sen has a similar style of running, really. Pings the gates, goes out and tries to make all and says catch me if you can, and just kind of draws clear. And I can see this happen again. Obviously won the Prix de la Grotte at Longchamp back in mid-April, and She did that exactly how I expected her to do it. She popped out in front and just no one could catch her. It might not have been the strongest field, but Christopher had said after the race she's going to come on a lot for that run, and the ground is there to suit. Her performance in the Prix-Marcel Boussac, I mean, I was a massive fan of her before that race, and she went and won that in good style as well. I think she's the one to beat. I haven't found anything to play each way against her. I have backed her, I won't lie, 2-1 for this race anti-post, but I wouldn't be playing her at 4-5, but I'd be very excited to see her win on Sunday. Jack, what do you make of this one?
Completely agree. Yeah, I don't really need to spend too long on here. Blue Rosen, it was great. It was great for you watching her last time out because she's clearly a very, very capable 3-year-old. She's definitely trained on. I thought it's absolutely brilliant to see. The only one at a price I'd probably stick my neck out for. I don't know what price Ritournelle is now, but finished second in the race. Pardon?
16 to 1.
16, so I may have a little bit of Ritournelle each way. Was second in the race that Malafaf won last year, but should have really won that. Was only just denied there. She'll put a few people off because she's more exposed. She's had the 4 runs and only won 2 of them. Was beaten on debut and only finished second in the group 3 last time out. But Ritournelle won't mind the ground, and hopefully the step up in trip shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, another 1% each way for one of the Guineas out in France, but Ritournelle 16 to 1. Not the worst price in the world, according to Jack. There we go then. Shall we get we'll get a nap, a best fancy for the weekend. I'll go first, and I think we might actually agree, but I mean, obviously Blue Rosen would be my favourite winner of the weekend. I'm not going to nap that up at 4-5, but I think Valimi each way is a fantastic bet and will be probably my bet of the weekend. What about yourself?
You took the words out of my mouth. I'd say Valimi, I think he should be half that price. I can't believe he's 12 to 1, so he'll be the each way nap of the week for myself as well.
I thought we'd agree with that. No surprises there. So yeah, Valimi each way, the bet of the week, and you see our selections on screen now for the week. And like I say, Jack and I do talk through every race. We don't necessarily have a selection in every race. We give our opinion, but you'll see our selections on the screen, and they're the ones that we'll be backing. And those are the ones that we monitor with our point stake. And you can come to Jack will update that during the season of how well we're doing on the YouTube channel. And there we go, that's it for our weekend preview. Jack and I will probably be back next week with a preview of the Dante Festival, I'd imagine. We'll look into that, and we'll also have a weekend preview. Obviously, we've got the Lockinge at Newbury next weekend as well. So plenty of top quality action. During the flat season, you get all these midweek festivals consistently that we've got to cover the lot. And you guys absolutely love the Chester preview, so we will get a Dante preview out to you as well, because there'll be some top quality racing from York. As always, do subscribe, like, comment, share with friends, family, whoever. Let them know about the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel, and we will see you again next week. Thanks for watching.